Watching this episode of Oregon Life.
Thanks for
right?
watching this episode
of Oregon Life.
Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Life, and welcome to a brand new episode. So this is how it happens. I'm at the Firefly and I see some women rose mauling, and their art is on the wall, and I go up to them and I say, hey, I'd like to have you in an episode of Oregon Life. So they invite me. We do this wonderful episode. People are texting and emailing me about it, how they can take classes and learn rose mauling. And while I'm filming, they introduced me to Mike Point down at the Senior Center in Stoughton, who has an incredible woodworking shop. And then Mike says, you really want to see a woodworking shop and some beautiful wood-made furniture, tables, charcuterie boards, and the list goes on. So he says, get over to Grand Inspired. And so I go over Grand Inspired in Stoughton, and I meet Joanne, and then I meet Rob, and then I meet Darren. So enjoy this episode of Oregon Life.
Hi, I'm Joanne Grassman, and welcome to Grand Inspired. This idea came about a few years back, and it all started with the idea of restoring a historic building. And Stoughton is a wonderful community in which to do that because we have so many beautiful historic buildings in our downtown. So after some searching, we found this space. This building historically is known as the Doughboy Building. And it actually started out as a Hudson automobile showroom, but was known as the Doughboy Building for a long time because that's the business that was in here. Looking around at this building, the thing that inspired us the most was these beautiful high arched ceilings that we have in here. They're framed by what are known as bowstring trusses, and they are an arched truss in the ceiling that spans 67 feet from the front of the building to the back of the building. Just beautiful. And the idea of woodworking has always been something that I have wanted to pursue. I come from a family of woodworkers dating back generations. And so the notion of being able to sell beautiful handmade works that are made from wood is something that I've always wanted to do. When we found this building, we realized that having a woodworking makerspace and a place where people could sell beautiful wood creations was something that would fit beautifully within the building. So that's how this came to be. It sort of evolved over the course of some years, and here we are. So Grand Inspired Woodworkers Makerspace is a place where people come to make things with wood. It's a membership-based space, and we have members of all ages, from early 20s to, I won't give away secrets, but maybe up to 80, I'm not sure. Men, women, everyone is welcome here, and we really want this space to be about learning and about community. And so we offer classes in our makerspace. I would say our membership falls into like 3 different categories, and it's people who have their own shops, but they don't have a 20-inch helical head planer, and that's very cool. And so they join the makerspace because they want to be able to use that kind of equipment without having to make the investment in it. Another category of members are those people who love to do woodworking, but they just don't have room for a shop, or they have tools in their garage, but it gets kind of cold this time of year. It gets kind of hot and humid in the summer. And so they join because they want to have good equipment, but don't have a place to put it on their own. And then our third category of members are people who have never done woodworking before. and they want to learn. Oftentimes it's women who've never had the chance maybe to take woodworking in school, but they always wanted to, and so they join and they learn. And I mentioned that we do classes. So we have a class that we call Board to Beautiful. That's for our membership. And it's called that because you start by picking out a board, literally. And that board is what we call rough wood. It's not straight, it's not square, and you go through the process of making your wood flat, square, and true so that you can actually make something from it. And that's always the process of that class. And then people learn different kinds of skills, like how to make a circle on the bandsaw, how to use the router table, for example. Sometimes we do things with a CNC engraver in a class. Sometimes we teach people how to turn on a lathe in a class, or how to flatten a very large slab that you want to use for a coffee table. So all different kinds of skills going on. We have members who are from here, from Stoughton. We have members from Oregon. We have members as far away actually as Illinois. We have a person who drives up here. He spends the whole day in the shop and then he goes home again at the end of the day.
Hi, I'm Rob Gerke. I'm the shop manager and instructor here at Grand Inspired. I'm also a woodworker, and currently I'm working on a commission for one of our customers. It's going to be a cherry sofa table that will incorporate a drawer, tapered legs, and a really lovely book matched cherry top. The drawer is going to be fitted in such a way it's going to be out of one solid piece of cherry that's been separated, so that when the drawer is assembled, the grain will be continuous end to end, and hopefully the drawer itself will hide in the apron and look as if it's not there. It's a fairly straightforward construction, tapered legs. We have mortise and tenon joinery. I have some pin dowels to hold those tenons in place. This is going to be a very stable table, despite its graceful and very delicate legs and top. This will be a nice solid piece of furniture. This is the cherry sofa table that I'm building for one of our customers. A nice book matched cherry top, nice tapered, thin, graceful legs. We'll have the opening here is for a hidden drawer. This will actually be the rear of it, although it's still quite attractive from that angle. This is made out of one solid board of cherry, a slab that's been milled to different thicknesses, widths, lengths, and in an effort to keep the finish looking consistent and the color consistent throughout the project. This is the Dowelmax doweling jig. These are 3/8 inch dowels. It's a very precisely machined piece that allows us to put pieces together with a very precise edge and alignment in order to construct pieces of different materials or different sizes or on angles. The process is real straightforward in that you just attach the board or your piece into here, aligning it with the edge and this side, and then I would run the drill through these in any orientation, all 5 or at 1, 3, and 5 or whatever is needed. So in this case, I've used 2 dowels, one about here and one about here, because with the drawer, what I want to show is not this end grain as the drawer stop, but a nice grain that is going to kind of match up with the rest of the piece. The drawer will then stop. This will stop it right even with the 2 other parts of the apron, so that it will be flush and kind of disappear into the piece.
I'm Darren Bell. I'm one of the owners here, and as you can tell, one of the woodworkers here as well. I was just going to show a little box that I'm working on. I do beginners classes on the CNC here, so this design I made on the CNC to make a box with a little gear mechanism on the side, so that when one of the sides is opened, the gears will engage and open both sides of the box. So little projects like this are fun ones that I like to do on the CNC here, and things that I like to encourage our members to do as well. So these are just little scrap pieces just to give some examples of things that we do in our classes. This here is actually a logo of the new establishment next door. But things like this, doing text engravings, are things that just after one class with the CNC our members are able to do. We've had a lot of good turnout with our beginners classes here, and little fun things like this, making a family sign or an outdoor worded sign, are nice things that people are able to do on their own.
So in addition to people visiting us for classes and of course shopping in the gallery, we want visitors to come and experience our space for other kinds of events as well. And so we've done a few over the course of the last year, and we've got more that are coming up. We just recently got done with a show for the winter solstice called Light. We had beautiful lamps and lanterns that were done by artists who are not usually in our gallery. They made these phenomenal looking lights. And the special treat of that was that we had a concert on the December 21st, the night of the solstice, by the musicians from the Stoughton Chamber Music Festival. And turns out, we didn't buy the building for this reason, but turns out we have amazing acoustics in this old building. And so they did a special concert for us of holiday music. We had the lights dimmed with just the lamps. It was just a magical evening. And we had so many people that, just stopped in for the show, but commented afterwards that it was just such a special, magical feeling. And, again, that's the way to give to the community, and we hope to do that through these special events that we have here. So we have a special event that we're planning for May, and folks may know already that Stoughton is kind of famous for the Seton de Mai. But we're going to add something to it this year, and it's going to be a maker-made show here at Grand Inspired. And so we have lots of members. You may, even if you listen very carefully, be able to hear saws and things buzzing in the background right now. But they make amazing things. And so we're going to have a show that features just our members and the things that they make. And that will be the weekend of Seton de Mai. We hope that this will be the first annual, and that it'll be a yearly event starting in 2023.
Watching this episode of Oregon Life.
Thanks for
right?
watching this episode
of Oregon Life.